What's going on YouTube? It's Michael from Quickie DFS, and I'm here to break down the NFL Showdown slate between the Raiders and the Chargers tonight. On our screen we have the Vegas odds, and I'm here with my brother Mitch, and he's going to take over right now and talk to you guys about the odds.
So the odds opened up at over 52.5, and they dropped down 1 point to 51.5. I expect it to far exceed that. I kind of think it'll be a shootout, and I expect these two quarterbacks to keep it a shootout.
So a more entertaining game than last night is what you're saying.
Yeah, let's try to forget about last night. I had a lot of Tom Brady in my captain spot, and we know how that went.
I had 0 Tom Brady in my captain spot, and I did cash in some, but not all. So we'll take that.
That's better than nothing. So let's start with Derek Carr. And my question for you is, do you think Derek Carr's legit?
No, I don't. I don't think he's legit, actually. He's been in the league for how long now? 8, 9 years. He's actually only made the playoffs once. He didn't even end up playing that game, which is not his fault because he was hurt. But if we're just being honest, he's played a bunch of lackluster teams. They're not good. They're not really good defensively. They're not really good offensively other than Baltimore. And they don't even have half their defense in there. So that's why I don't think it's really... I think it's a hot start, yes. I don't think it's legit, though, to continue.
Yeah, what? I can't argue with you about his past, but at least this year, he's thrown the ball 56 times. I do know that game with the overtime, but 56 times in fantasy is a good number. We'll take that. 37 times and 43 times in against Miami, which I also went to overtime. So they played a lot of close games here. I like his pass attempts. I do like his yards. And you take the touchdowns. Do you plan to play him at all?
The current build I have on FanDuel, it does not have Derek Carr. It's actually a 4-1 build, and it only has one Raider, and it ends up being receiver, which is Henry Ruggs, which I don't love. I'd rather have Waller, obviously, but I just can't afford him with the build I have. So I don't think I'll have any Derek Carr. And if I'm making multiple lineups, yes, I will have Derek Carr, absolutely. But as of now, I just have one lineup, and it does not have Derek Carr.
I'll have 100% exposure to Derek Carr in my flex. I expect him to have a big game. We'll see. So moving on to Justin Herbert here. You can see he had a rough start against Washington, kind of a rough start against Dallas, and we did play Justin Herbert against Dallas in our main lineup.
We still cashed, though.
We did cash, but you expected a much bigger game, kind of like you saw against Kansas City. And if the Raiders could keep it close, like Kansas City did, we could see another, 30-point game from him, if not more. So what is your take on Justin Herbert?
I love Justin Herbert tonight. I'll have 100% Justin Herbert for sure. I can't say, like I said, I don't have any Derek Carr right now, which kind of maybe I should pair both of them together, because now I'm looking at all the games they've played, and they've dropped back a decent amount of times. The only thing with Carr is I'm pretty sure Peyton Barber, how many times he touched the ball? 20 times last week? It was something high like that. And if you have a running back who's touching the ball 20 times, and you also have Kenyon Drake, we don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to be back, so we don't really know what's going on at the running back position. So we're not going to recommend any of them right now. And now if Josh Jacobs gets ruled out, we love Barber 100% over Drake. I don't know if he's going to have 23 rushes again. It's just a better play than Kenyon Drake.
He also had 5 targets, which is a pretty substantial amount. And we would have thought Kenyon Drake would have probably taken over the backfield, but it looks like Peyton Barber has played pretty well. I don't expect Josh Jacobs to play. I don't see them pushing it. They played well without him. By this time, it's what time is it? It's 2:30 Friday. Whoops.
It is not Friday. It's Monday afternoon.
2:30 on Monday. I wish it was Friday.
Yeah, right. That would be great. Start the weekend.
Yeah. So at 2:30 on Monday, we don't have anything for Josh Jacobs, but
he did practice though. I'm pretty sure it was in a limited fashion, but he did practice. So that's a positive thing. It's just still no news yet. So that's the only thing. We really just don't know. So we like Barber, if Josh Jacobs is out, but now if Josh Jacobs is in, we won't be touching any of the running backs from the Raiders.
Yeah, it's just too hard to tell. So let's move on to Austin Eckler. With Austin Eckler, in the past we kind of seen him get taken out for goal line work, and Justin Jefferson may have just ran it in, but
It's Justin Jackson.
I'm just having a rough time here. We take out Justin. They would take him out and put him in, and he would lose the goal line work. But they've been seeming to keep Eckler in, which I don't see myself getting to much Eckler because I like the passing game more, and I do understand that they throw to Eckler. But I mean, just as far as the receivers, I don't think that the Raiders can hold them in a shootout. So with Eckler, if I were to play him, I would put him in the captain spot, and hopefully, he goes for 2 to 3 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 1 in the air. Which I think.
I don't think you need Eckler as a captain on FanDuel, only because of the whole 0.5 to 1 PPR. You're not getting a full point, so that kind of it doesn't hurt him. It's positive, but it's not what I want. Now Eckler on DraftKings, if you're gonna get a full point for 10 catches, absolutely, I would 110%. But I just don't think that's needed on FanDuel. But I will have Eckler in my lineup tonight, but he's not my captain.
So, what is your take on Mike Williams and Keenan Allen? They're priced $2,000 different, and they're relatively seeing the same amount of targets. Just Mike Williams is scoring more touchdowns than him. I would like to think that regression is due for Mike Williams. We've watched Keenan Allen multiple years, produce. This is still kind of new for Mike Williams, although I do think he's stepped into a much bigger role. I don't think that it's a role that will stay, this big, and I expect Keenan Allen to get some of those touchdowns this week.
Yeah, with that, the whole price differential, it's a $14,000 for Mike Williams and then $12,500 for Keenan Allen. He's right there. I lean Allen. We like Mitch said, we've seen him do it for years in a row, years and years and years. He continues to get more targets. He's not just scoring touchdowns like Mike Williams is, which that's not going to continue to happen. We all know how football goes. People have regression after having such positive regression. I will have Keenan Allen as my captain, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Keenan Allen as my captain as well. I expect a big game from him. So we got to talk about Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow, and Bryan Edwards here. But first, we got to talk about their main wide receiver, but he's a tight end. Let's talk about Darren Waller. I think he's a great play. I think the Chargers give it up to tight end over the past 3 weeks. We've seen that. I expect him to see his normal targets there, 7, 7, and 19. But without
I'll give him 10. His average is probably 10.
Yeah, well, that's great. But with his price being so high, I don't see myself being able to play him. Although it is a great play. If you want to take him as your captain, I wouldn't blame you for it.
Yeah, no, if you can afford him, by all means play him. I won't be able to afford him. It's just how my build is. Now, going from 19 targets to 7 and 7 in the last 2, it's a big difference. It seems that obviously you already know to double team Darren Waller, but he's not able to break out from it. It seems like he can't really handle it like other receivers we've seen been able to. So also, he's just too much. It's just too much.
It's a price thing.
Yeah, I can't afford it. I would love to, but if you're able to afford him, then there's actually honestly something wrong with your build.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs is another one. I can't necessarily tell you which receiver I like more from the Raiders between Ruggs, Renfrow, and Edwards. With Edwards being the cheaper option between the three, I'll probably lean Edwards.
Yeah, but if you can get the 500, I'd recommend Renfrow.
Yeah, I don't mind Renfrow, and it looks like Carr seems to lean on him when he gets pressure, and he's fun to watch. Renfrow. Kind of a play I often is kicker, but we'd be a fool not to mention Daniel Carlson here. He's produced in the last 3 weeks, and I'm sorry, in season long, if you've had to play him, but
he's actually on my team, so thank you. Keep playing how you're playing.
In the past 3 weeks, he's scored 11, 17, and 13. I don't expect that to keep up, but that is a wide receiver right there. That's if he gets 17 points, if he gets 13 points, and say Ryan Edwards got you 17 points or 13 points, you wouldn't be that mad. I mean, Carlson's price on FanDuel is up a lot. On DraftKings, it's like 3,800. It's really an okay play.
Yeah.
But you don't love playing kickers, but if you wouldn't be upset with it.
No, I wouldn't be upset with it. So my current build right now is 4 Chargers and 1 Raider. As I said, I don't have Derek Carr. The Raider I have is Henry Ruggs, actually. He's my favorite play from the Raiders tonight, I think. I know it's Henry Ruggs. We all saw him in college or whatever. But if he's able to break through that secondary and just take off, he's fast. There's nobody who can keep up with him. It's just like a Tyreek Hill type thing. He's just way too fast. If he breaks that coverage, he's going to score a touchdown. And it'll be pretty easy, in my opinion. I don't think the Chargers are that good defensively. And now, mentioning the defense, I will not own any of the defenses in fantasy tonight. I don't think you need them, especially because it's going to shoot out. Now, last night, if you played Tampa or the Patriots, you probably looked good, actually, because of how low scoring it was. It wasn't many points scored. I don't recommend doing that a lot, though. I would only do that if you think the game is going to be really low scoring. And like we said, we don't think tonight will be low scoring. So we're not going to play any of the defenses. There's just no reason to. And now, looking lower, you could play Jared Cook. He gets his targets from Justin Herbert. It's nothing like you'd like, though.
It's also a revenge game. You got to mention that.
Okay, I didn't even think about that.
Against the Raiders.
He did have a touchdown taken back from him, which was ridiculous last week, but it happens. Another guy from the Chargers is Jalen Guyton. I think that's Guyton. I don't know really how to say his name. Sorry, guys. I won't have any ownership of him. Now, I don't know how Mitch feels about that, but I'll have 0 of this guy.
If I'm trying to, cram in some studs, I do see myself leaning Guyton. I obviously don't love the 1 target last week. You would like to see, 5 targets again. But on DraftKings, I want to say he's 2,400. At that price point, what exactly do you need him to do? But on FanDuel, I believe there's enough guys in his price range that you don't need to pick him.
Yeah, I won't have any of him. You could play Zay Jones. Like, what if he comes out and scores a touchdown like he did against the Ravens?
I don't love it.
That's like, if you have to go that low,
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
I don't want
at all.
any running backs outside of Eckler from the Chargers.
Honestly, though, after Justin Jackson, which I will have no ownership, but if he gets goal line work over Eckler, he'll score some points. I might play Foster Moreau just for cheap because sometimes he gets targets, just as a dart bro. I don't need him. I don't need to go that low in the current build I have. And then all of these guys are just out of the question. I'm not touching anybody down here. I don't think you need to. I don't really know what's up with Willie Snead. He's played. He hasn't played. He didn't play last game, so I don't know. It's like I said, it's just a dart throw down here. You don't want to really have to play any of these guys if you don't have to. But now, if you do play them and they end up scoring some points, you beat most of the field. So that's the only positive to that side. Now that we've talked about FanDuel, you guys got a general idea of what we like over here. We're going to switch over to DraftKings now. So now we're over on DraftKings. As you can see, we still have Keenan Allen as our captain. We'll probably roll him as our captain on FanDuel and DraftKings because he's just Keenan Allen. And I think you limit yourself when you play QBs because if he has a big reception, touchdown, whatever it is, it'll pay off. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so on DraftKings, I kind of find myself like I said, I don't mind playing Guyton.
He's really cheap.
At 24, yeah. On DraftKings, he's cheap. So you do plug in Guyton, and then you're left at 62 in each position, which is pretty good. You could land on a Ruggs here.
Well, click on Ruggs.
Oh,
So
he's getting a lot.
yeah, see now that's what that included 1 point reception for PPR. Look at that, and if you can get him for, he's not cheap,
You know, the 5 receptions looks good.
but
Um,
I do like him a lot tonight.
so you can see yourself landing on Ruggs. Like we said, we like Cook in a revenge game scenario. Which leaves you with 8,000. If Jacobs is playing and you think he's going to get most of the work, that's a good build I can see. But with Guyton, he opens up a lot of salary that I think you might need if you're planning on playing both QBs like I do.
Now, as I do like Guyton on FanDuel, I'm sorry, not FanDuel, DraftKings that we're on right now. He's 2,400, and he's struggled. He hasn't put up points like the kicker we mentioned. And he's only 38. So, he scored way more points than him, and he's only, 1,200 more, 1,300 more? I would be willing to, I would actually play him over Guyton. That's just me, in my opinion on it. It would leave you with 5,500. I just don't think Guyton will get you the points after, because Herbert's throwing to Eckler, he's throwing to Keenan Allen, he's throwing to Mike Williams. So you got to think about that's all of his passes really. Guyton might see 2 or 3, and if he doesn't catch them, you're not really scoring points like you would with the kicker.
Yeah. You're really throwing a dart and hoping that Guyton somehow breaks one for a touchdown. If he does, you're in the green, obviously. That's the love and hate thing to Showdown.
Yeah. I bet the kicker has more points than Guyton tonight.
Yeah, I'm not willing to take that bet with you. But before we wrap this video up here, who do you think wins? The Raiders or the Chargers? And what maybe one bold call that you would have?
So I'm going to go with the Chargers tonight. I think that might be a little bit of the Justin Herbert fan of me, and I also have him on my fantasy team, and I really need him to come through tonight. With that being said, don't throw the ball to Mike Williams, please. Throw it to Keenan Allen instead. So yeah, my money's on the Chargers. In one dart throw,
Or bold call?
bold call, man, I don't. Keenan Allen, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay. With us both playing him at captain, I would love to see that.
Maybe not 150. Let's say 120, but he's scoring 2 touchdowns.
Okay. My bold call here would be that Jared Cook actually finds the end zone versus old team. I don't know if he has a hatred toward the Raiders, but I see him scoring the touchdown here. Jared Cook revenge game.
Alright, I can get behind that, even though he doesn't need to score a touchdown either for my season-long fantasy purpose.
And we're not talking about that, though.
Yeah.
But, so that's about all we got for you guys. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We plan to do this more often.
Please leave some feedback. Tell us what you guys want to hear, what we could do better for you guys. Just let us know, and we're willing to accommodate to it.
All right, and good luck tonight.
Have a good one.